this computer. All right, Andrea, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to have this conversation. We have known each other not that long, actually, but you have this incredible passion for this event that you are putting on in Glasgow, in Scotland, in October. So
Hmm.
I wanted to get into conversation with you because I think it's something that more people need to know about. And I think it's something that's going to help a lot of people. So why don't you start with an introduction to what the heck is this thing that I
This thing that's taken over my life. So, the thing we're talking about is the Scottish Pause Summit. So, at the end of last year, I did some research and discovered that there wasn't a big menopause event in Scotland. There's a huge one down in London, but I thought we need one up here. So I thought, right, I'm going to organise that. And as I'm based just outside of Glasgow, it's taking place in Glasgow, although it's open to women from anywhere in Scotland or even over the border if they want to travel up to Glasgow. And I think we have got a couple of people doing that. Um, and really, it's a passion project for me because I had a horrendous perimenopause 10 years ago when nobody was talking about the menopause. Um, and I've kind of been on a mission since then to help other women. And I'm an artist, so I help women in a creative way as well as empowering them with information. So I've got a huge amount of experience of event organisation. I've met some incredible women along the way through other sort of smaller menopause events and also through networking. And all these women are involved in some way with helping women in midlife.
Mm.
And they were all really keen to get involved. So yeah, it's a full day event
Mhm.
taking place in Hope Street, just next to Central Station at the studio, a lovely, light, bright, airy venue, which the venue choice was really important to me as well. Wanted it to be sort of female friendly and nice and, as I say, bright and colourful because I'm an artist.
Mhm.
And we've got uh, at the moment things do keep fluctuating a little bit because we have more people come on board, but we've got 14 um, amazing women, all experts in their own field, from mindset, nutrition, gut health, exercise, um, HRT, hormones, a whole wide range because it's a holistic approach to menopause. It's not just about HRT.
Mm.
It's looking at all the lifestyle changes that you can make as well. And interestingly enough, next month is it's next month is Menopause Awareness Month, but then the 18th of October, which was my original date for the event, is World Menopause Day. And the theme this year actually is lifestyle uh, choice. And, that's pure coincidence because I'd already, come up with that. Um, so it's taking place on Saturday, the 25th of October. I don't know if I've already mentioned that. That's quite an important piece of information.
It is definitely important information. So the 25th of October,
Yes.
and it's an all-day event. It's 9:15.
9:15 is registration, and we finish at 4:45 in the afternoon.
Okay, so 9:15 to
Um,
12:45 on the 25th of October. The venue itself, the studio, that is right by Central Station, isn't it? So it's in
yes.
Glasgow, very accessible, easy to get to.
Yes, it's on the ninth floor, and it's you come in straight off the street, so it's very accessible, straight up in the lift, and we there's food included. We're having a brunch,
Nice.
um, nice hot and cold drinks throughout the day. It's not going to be a case of just sitting listening to people. There's going to be interaction. My background is in course, design and delivery, so I know how to get the audience involved. And we're going to have interviews with some of the experts talking about their menopause experience, which, when you hear when somebody else says what they're experiencing, it just helps you so much, to be able to talk about things with other people. So yes, so we're having interviews and we're also having some workshops. So we've got self-hypnosis, we're doing a sound bath as well at the very end, and we've also got I'm not exactly sure what she's doing, but Sharon from Joyworks is doing a session, and I don't know that she's doing laughter yoga, but she's going to get us energized anyway after
Yeah,
lunch.
there's a surprise in there for us.
The surprise for me.
I love it. But I mean, honestly, and it sounds, because I'm at the start of my perimenopause journey. And so I am somebody who, given the work that I do, I'm very free to talk about things, but
Mm,
that hasn't always been the case. And I know there's a lot of people that still feel shame and embarrassment and stigma.
mm,
And it's not such a free-for-all conversation for a lot of people. So I'm loving what you're sharing around. There's going to be some interviews, there's going to be a very holistic approach. Lots of different people are going to be coming in on different subject matter experts, with menopause
mhm,
being, perimenopause, menopause being the umbrella. But like,
mhm,
how does our gut health impact? How does our nutrition impact the energy
mhm.
levels that we go through these different phases of life? Um, what would you say to anybody who feels like, I want to be in a supportive environment. I want to be around women who get it so I don't feel so alone on this journey, but maybe are feeling a little tentative about actually coming and figuring out, and maybe they want to come on their own and they're not used to being in a
Mhm.
group space like this and are feeling a bit nervous about it. How might you create some safety for someone that wants to be there but is a little tentative?
So, I mean, I can totally get that because I know when I was perimenopause and I thought I was the only one feeling the way I did, there were social situations where I was ready to leave the house. And just before I left, I was like, no, I can't do it. And I didn't know why, at least I understand now why I was like that. But what I would say is, I mean, me as a person, I will make everybody feel really welcome. And I appreciate that some people might want to take some time out and, have some quiet time. So we're going to have a chill out zone. And also, what I'm doing with the speakers is I'm actually going to have a speaker on every table. So rather than all the speakers being aloof on one table, it's going to be a little bit like it was when I had school dinners. We used to have a teacher on the table making sure we didn't misbehave.
They can cut
Um,
our lunch if we struggle with it, or they can cut it up for us.
But I mean, they'll be there to support people and, make sure that people are okay who are there on their own. I've actually created a ticket type called Pause Pals. So if you're wanting to come along with somebody else, you can actually buy a ticket and save money to do that. So I'm very conscious of the fact that, people could be feeling a little bit nervous about coming along or thinking, oh, well, I'm the only one that feels like this, or, they're embarrassed because they might be hot flushing throughout the event. Honestly, try not to feel embarrassed because I'll probably be hot flushing and I'm postmenopausal. But I'm going to be standing up there. I know my glasses will steam up because they always do. In fact, I'm surprised they haven't steamed up yet. Um, and I now, I'm at that stage in life where I'm like, it's natural.
Mhm.
If somebody's got a problem with the fact that, I mean, I'll get on the train in the morning and I'm roasting. I'm there opening all of the windows and I'm like, I want to be comfortable here. I'm sure there's lots of other women in exactly the same position, but they're maybe not quite as confident about being like that. But there's nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, and
It's a fact of life, and you know, people around us need to be educated as well.
even what you're sharing on this conversation, Andrea, because like I say, I don't have all of the symptoms, right? I have like itchy skin. I did not know that that was a symptom. I was like, why is my skin itching? I didn't know that that was a
Yes,
thing. But even you sharing like my glasses steam up, like I wouldn't have even thought about that. So even just
yeah,
the conversation is educational. And I think there will be people listening that are starting to feel a sense of relief of
Yeah,
community that is going to understand me. And I'm
that's it.
process, not just the experts on the stage, but the other women in the room who are
Yeah,
going through it or have been through it, and sharing their tips, sharing what works
yeah,
for them, sharing the things that have normalized this experience and had them feel a little freer within themselves to go
that's it.
through this stage of life. Um, is it just for women, or are you hoping that there's going to be partners there, men there? What's your vision for this?
That's a really interesting question, and it's quite a tricky question to answer, sorry, because I want to educate partners and family members, male family members as well. But I know from previous experience that as soon as you kind of introduce a male element into the room, women don't feel as free
Mm.
talking about these things. I mean, I will talk about things which I never ever thought I would be talking about because I've always been quite shy. And I mean, I'm a Gen X, so my generation didn't talk about these things, but things like vaginal atrophy. Now, I can talk about that quite freely because it's so important women know about it.
Tell people what that is, Andrea, first, because there will be people saying, no idea what that woman just said.
Okay, so here goes. When you go through perimenopause, with all your hormones fluctuating, you've spoken about itchy skin, but basically, our skin all over our body dries out, and one of the places it dries out is in the vagina. So for me, before I realised what was going on with me, I had really painful smear tests.
Mm.
And nobody, not even the nurse, told me why that was. And it's because everything's drying out and basically the skin is shrinking, so it's getting tighter. So as well as having pain during a smear test, that's also why sex can be painful for women. Yes, I said that word. um, and then there's another thing as well that happens is that your skin basically starts to shrink. So um, I personally take vaginal HRT, which helps, and also you can get this thing on prescription called it's by a company called Yes. In fact, I've got lots of samples of it, and
Mm.
it's like a lubricant, but it's not, it's a lubricant for intercourse. And oh my goodness, the relief from that. And then what you can also do, I never knew we were going to go down this path with this
I love
conversation.
it.
Um, I say to ladies, don't just moisturize these lips. You also need to moisturize the lips down below because they get dry and uncomfortable and they can be itchy. So something like organic coconut oil, even the stuff that you would use for cooking, but obviously you don't use the same jar as the stuff you're using to cook. That is really, really soothing. So I'm quite open about it because it's happened to me. I know how painful it was for me and how uncomfortable it was. And women need to know about it. It's a natural process that our body's going through. I mean, I have dry eyes as well, which is really uncomfortable. And again, the optician told me that in my 40s. But again, there was no mention of, oh, that's linked to
You wouldn't
to
think
menopause,
that.
um, so basically, in the morning, I'm moisturising virtually every part of my body.
But I love what you're sharing here, Andrea. One of the things that I love about this is there will be meek people in there that are like,
Mm,
they don't want to put their hand up and ask the questions, but they will be so interested in hearing
mm,
the answers to other people's questions. So what you have just shared, there could be lots of people that don't want to put their hand up and say,
yeah,
these are my symptoms. But there's the fact that the information is going to be free flowing, and then people
mm,
can start to go, oh, that's me. They don't need to put their hand up and say, oh,
no,
that's me. They can just absorb the information, take it away, have a little investigation for themselves afterwards. So they're actually like really starting to understand what could be going on here without having to raise the hand if they don't want to, and explain, this is my experience. What would you recommend?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love
Don't worry. I'm not going to ask for a raise of hands. Who's Um, yeah, I mean that's actually what happened to me when I saw the first Davina McCall documentary. That was in lockdown actually, and that's when it all slotted into place for me. You know, prior to that, I thought I was going crazy. I thought I had early onset dementia because my brain fog was so bad,
Mm,
and I also my mood swings were horrendous. And I was suffering from a really bad rage. You know, it was like a red mist, and when I watched that documentary, I was like, so that's what it's all about,
mm,
and that's why I am so motivated to help other women because I speak to lots of women like you do, Lisa, through, networking. And I mean, I was having a massage yesterday and the girl was 27. And I just happened to mention that I was organising this event. She was really interested about it. She said, oh, yeah, my mum really suffered. And we were having a long conversation about it. And she was like, gosh, I didn't realise that. And I said, well, it's so important that young women know about it and are prepared for it. But then I was speaking to another lady and she was saying she's very successful. She said, oh, I breezed through menopause. I didn't really have any symptoms. And I said, that's great because 25% of women don't.
mm.
But your hormone levels never return to where they were previously. So um, this drop in hormones can lead to, our bones thin,
Mhm.
and also there's a link to cardiovascular disease. And they're also, I mean, I don't say this to worry people, but it's really just having awareness. There's a potential link with dementia. So, you know, yes, ladies are lucky enough to breeze through it, but there's still stuff going on in your body,
Yeah.
physically,
Mhm.
and equally mentally, because as you get older, you appreciate that, you're probably never going to have another child, for instance. But when your periods finally stop, and menopause is actually a 24-hour period, and it represents you not having menstruated for a full 12 months, that is almost a loss. And I must admit, I did feel a sense of loss,
Mm.
along with along with all the other crazy stuff that was going on with for me. But um if you're aware, they say knowledge is power, and that's a bit cliche, but if you can empower yourself with information and be aware and recognize what's going on in your body, so that if you do go and speak to your GP, you can say to them, well, this is actually what's happening. um and it's your body. you
Yeah.
need you need to take responsibility. You can't um think that, oh, I can just go and get a magic tablet. HRT is great, or it can be great if you go down that route, but it's not magic. There's other changes you need to make in order to thrive in this period of your life. So
Which is
yeah.
why you've got all of these different experts coming in, because what you're pointing to there is that there's an identity piece around loss, right? Of like,
Yes.
now I'm entering a completely different season of my life. And that means closing the door on a particular chapter that I've had up
Mm.
until now. So there's mindset
Oh yeah.
there's nutrition experts, that we've got the whole shebang covered. I just want to loop back to what you were saying about when I asked the question around who is this for, it's predominantly
Mm.
for women who are perimenopausal, menopausal, going through this experience
Mm.
together. Um, so the education piece for the guys, or for the colleagues, or for the partners who are not
Mhm.
in the room, I'm envisaging, and I'm making this up, so I want you to keep me right. I'm envisaging the women in the room coming away feeling really empowered to actually talk about it with other people, and
Yeah.
education stems and flows then through them. Would you
Yes.
say that's accurate?
Yeah, definitely. And I I actually have a wider vision. Um, I'm trying not to think about it too much at the moment because there's so much work involved with this event. But what I would really like to have, come from this event is have some satellite events, and there could be one for guys, and I suspect they might prefer it to be online, which is fine. But yeah, I mean, it is about educating the whole population. It's not, women. 51% of the population are going to be affected by it biologically, mentally, physically. But then there's the rest who also it will have an impact upon. And a lot of workplaces are implementing menopause policies, and we actually have two lovely ladies coming from Source, the menopause consultancy, and they go into companies and talk about menopause in the workplace. So there is a movement towards more people or raising awareness generally.
Mm.
But as we know with these things, it can be a really it can be a really slow process. But
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's going to be, there's going to be ripples, and I've got representatives coming from a the Scottish Asian Counselling Service, which is great because certain minority groups it's even spoken less about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and their intention is to spread the word to other people within their community. So yeah, I mean it's the start of something big. It's it's exciting and a bit scary.
But I mean, what a beautiful compass point that is, right? We usually know we're doing something great if it's exciting and scary at the same time.
Mm,
So tell me a little bit, Andrea, because I know there's some follow-up support for this. So there's a bit of an aftercare package going on here.
mm,
So people come to the event, they have this great experience. There's a lot of learning. There's a lot of experts on tap to get some advice and information from you.
mm.
And then, but you don't want people to just go away armed with information and then like, uh-oh, what now? Like overwhelm. So tell
Yes.
me a little what you have planned for people afterwards.
Yes, so I mean, this is a really key thing for me because, as I say, I'm from a training background, and personally, I've sat in events and got so much from it on the day, and then when you get back to real life, you kind of forget about it or you don't have time. So, what my intention is that every person that comes along will go away with one strategy that they can implement.
Mm.
So, for instance, I mean, I can give you lots of top tips when it comes to sleep. So, it could be that somebody's having a really bad time with sleep, and one of the strategies is to not have your mobile phone in your room. Amazing the difference that makes. And then not having caffeine after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So, say somebody that's their strategy, easy to implement, can take a little bit of resistance because you're used to doing things a certain way. But then they get a check-in call with me. So it's an optional thing. So if people don't want it, that's fine. But no, I'm going to be checking in with everybody to see how they're getting on, and see if there's any other support that they need, whether it be from me or from the other experts in the room. And that's really important for me because a lot of thought has gone into the event, and I want to make sure that those who come along and invest in themselves are getting the most they can out of the event.
Yeah, and that says huge amount about you, Andrea. Honestly, this is like I can feel the heart that has gone into this, and the personal attention. Like that's unusual to be able to go to
Mm,
an event, an all-day event, and then actually have the person who organized the event, founded the event, reach out directly, and you get to have a call with that person who is very knowledgeable and experienced and can signpost or support. That is another level of aftercare for
mm.
this kind of thing. So. I can really feel the heart that's gone into it. So it's a big acknowledgement for you for what you're putting on here. Um,
Thank you. Yeah, and I mean, I'm hoping to be there when everybody arrives in the morning, but you know what it's like.
yeah,
Like I'm sure that I'll be running around like a a crazy woman. Because I'm hosting, I'm also, doing the interviews. And but that's because I want it to be, well, I know what's going to work, and it's part of my vision. It's not, and the thing about it is, yes, we've got these amazing speakers, but the focus is the audience. It's about them getting the best experience possible.
What do you think if you could choose just one thing that you're most excited about? What would you say that is?
I'm actually looking forward to hearing people talking and laughing in the room,
Um,
because, I mean, there might even be some tears as well, because I've spoken to women, about my journey, and they've said, "Oh, yeah, that's happened to me." And we've just had a laugh about the crazy things that you find yourself doing. I think for me, that is so special. That energy you get in the room, that is what will make it all worthwhile. Is that women, really relax and enjoy themselves, and you know, that's what I really wish for.
Yeah, beautiful. A sense of relaxation. I mean, the sound bath. The what else would you say? Self-hypnosis. Like there's
Yes.
so much gonna be happening in this space to help women relax into it, to normalize the experience, to have a feeling of belonging that, other people get me, and then feeling really empowered actually to walk in
Yeah.
like perimenopause, menopause. This is the season I'm in, and I feel really empowered to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it can be really tough for women. I mean, it was tough for me looking back. And I don't know how I got through it, but if you if you're forewarned, or if you have the information and you know that, oh, yes, I'm anxious, but you understand why you're anxious, rather than being anxious about being anxious, which was how I was, um, it does make life easier and more manageable. And then, you can implement strategies as well that are, you know, they don't have to be restrictive strategies. They don't have to, spoil things for you. Because one of the things that we recommend is, you reduce your alcohol intake. Now, some women might say, oh, well, that's going to be miserable. But actually, I'd rather not wake up with feeling rough after one glass of wine, which what can happen, because that is again related to the hormone changes in your body. Your body can't process alcohol in the way it did when you were in your 20s and 30s.
Yeah, and some of that is a mindset shift around, instead of focusing on what I'm giving up and the loss here, it's like,
Yeah,
what do I want to gain? What am I going to really get back from not drinking? Like
yeah,
the vitality, like, so I think that mindset piece that's in there as well is going to be fundamental to help.
yeah. And the thing is, as well, it is a period of huge change for, the average woman. If you've got children, they're leaving the nest, and and then your parents are getting older, or possibly you've lost your parents. And maybe you're looking at your job and thinking, well, actually, I don't want this level of stress moving forward. I'm looking to make a change. I mean, I've just made a massive change, and it's really liberating and exciting. And actually, you go from having focused on other people for such a long period of your life, which, as a mother myself, I don't regret that. But now is my time, and it's not about being selfish. It's about getting back to who you are as a person, and, you know, moving forward and getting, genuine joy out of life.
Yeah. Wow, what a gorgeous note to end on. Is there anything, Andrea, that you want to express that you've not shared yet?
I would say to women who are hear this and are still feeling a little bit anxious about it, to just take a leap of faith,
Mm.
and you know you will be warmly welcomed. You will feel relaxed and accepted and cared about. And I know it is times are hard for people at the moment, but it is an investment well worth making. And if anybody is really struggling to get along and they make contact with me, they can do that through the website, or they can find me on social media. Or if they, even through, if you wouldn't mind, Lisa, if they contact you, um, I can speak to people and see about a way of getting them to the event, because, as I say, I'm passionate about helping as many women as possible. And as women, we tend to be a bit naughty about not looking after ourselves. We focus on everybody else and making sure they're all right. But what happens if we're not all right?
Exactly. Fill your cup, or you can't fill anybody else's. Just let us know the website address then, Andrea. Where's the place people can go to find out more, to buy their tickets? What's their website address?
Okay, so it is Scottish Pause Summit.co.uk. So that's pause as in menopause, not as in PAWS, which is what when you generate captions, it comes up with that. So it's Scottish Pause Summit.co.uk. And I'm also on social media channels, so Instagram and Facebook. You'll either find me as Andrea Clare or Scottish Pause Summit.
Perfect. All right, so let's recap. 25th of October,
Yes.
9:15 to 4:45. And the name of the venue?
The venue is called The Studio. It's at 67 Hope Street. It's a big glass building to the side of Central Station. You take the lift up to the top floor, and that's where all the magic will be happening.
Fabulous. I haven't got my ticket yet. I am going to go and get it right now.
Oh, fantastic.
I will see you there.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
And
It's been a great conversation, and what you're doing is phenomenal.
thank you, Lisa, so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.